Hey, welcome to the Idea of podcast, where we explore the noise, the nuance, and everything in between. I am Mike,
And I'm Bassey.
and this is the place where culture, creativity, and conversation collide. I said place, but I think it's space, but you get it. What's going on, Bossy?
Quick question. So I'm sitting on a pillow. So I'm up higher than I usually am.
Yeah.
It's a yoga pillow. So it's like, so does this work? Because I pushed the thing, like computer back so I can lean. And so I don't know what I've been doing before, but
Yeah, I think that works. I just
yeah.
adjusted my screen to so that we're like eye level the same.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. What's going on?
What's going on? This and that. Did I tell you I thought I was writing a book, like a fiction, like novel. So,
Was it about soccer?
well, that's one.
Okay, okay.
But I had another one because, like, romance stuff is, like, huge now. I was like, "Oh, I'll just write, like, a 200 pages,
Mhm.
sell it to Amazon or Audible, and get some money and go about my business." This shit, like, I'm so pissed off that I can't do that because it went from, yeah, they meet on vacation and they start working together and they fall in love,
My
and
god. My g
why now people got autism? Why people's parents are dead? Like, it's turned into, like, this, like, novel. I'm like,
Your story?
my story. It was just supposed to be real quick romance, get it out the way, get some money, leave. But I'm incapable of doing that. Like, I tried so hard to, like, make it really basic, and I was like, "No, but parents need to die and people need to have autism."
Okay.
But it turned into, like, it's actually I think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I had absolutely 0 intention of writing, like, a novel. I just wanted to write some quick note romance shit and
Wow.
go about my business, but it's really turned into I really like it's turned into a story,
Mhm.
and it has the possibility of, like, being being more waiting to exhale than I was gonna say 50 Shades of Grey. It was definitely never gonna be that. But, like, that kind of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, throwaway uh, Kindle Unlimited shit, and
Mhm.
might actually be a novel, and it's very annoying because that is not what I intended to do.
That's dope. I'm assuming it's taking you more time than you originally
Way more.
thought.
I'm world building and
So how do you do that? Like, as a writer, like, are you literally, like, creating the story as you write it? Or are you, like, planning for it, then writing what you plan and kinda going back and forth that way?
well, I'm right now I'm planning. I don't usually plan I mean, I don't usually write fiction. Usually I just start writing and then what happens, happens. But
Mhm.
with this one, I wanted things to make sense, and I wanted people to have people I wanted the characters to be three-dimensional because I that's what I like to read, and
Mhm.
it turned into me, like, building the characters, like their backgrounds, their families, what they want from life, their intentions, all that good
Mhm.
stuff, and yeah, it just became, like, an entire world. And, like, we talked about me not being creative, so it's based on a lot of things, but it's like it's almost like a it's almost like I'm, what do they call it? Maladaptive daydreaming. It feels like I'm doing that,
Mm.
like, I'm just, like, falling into, like, my like, a daydream, and I'm writing down that story.
That's kinda dope, though. I mean, for, like, a creative process, that sounds really liberating. Like,
It
just
is.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is, because being able to do it that way allows a story to be told as
Mhm.
opposed to what I was trying to do, which was come up with a story like ABC and leave it flat, but because of the kind of writer I am, I kind of suspected that it wasn't gonna do that as hard as I was trying to get it to do that. Same with the
Yeah.
soccer one. The soccer one was supposed to be, like, being really quick, but now it's like I'm developing a world in that story that needs to exist, and I just don't know why I'm incapable of that quick,
Mm.
like, throwaway shit.
That's so
I don't know.
interesting because I feel like from a Black creative arts perspective, like, what you're doing is so important, and I don't know I don't know what appeals to large scale audiences when it comes to Black people's art. You know what I'm saying? Like we did not an experiment, but we were literally, Danielle and I were trying to look at all of the Oscar nominated movies, right? So she hadn't seen Sinners. So that's why I watched it again a few weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest movie of all time. Right. And so we watched the preview of all of the movie nominated, movies.
Mhm,
And what was so striking to me, even the preview, I love previews. Like I'm a preview buff. Like I rate the preview separate from whatever the movie is. Like that's and so even in the previews, the ways in which white people and how they present themselves in all movie genres are just able to be normal.
mhm,
Like it's just even the stories that were like the Hamnet one and the ping pong one with Homeboy and like all of these, like on surface it's just like these super flat stories about inanimate white people that not only do they appeal, they get nominated for awards, which
mhm,
like in all areas of art, I feel like the stories that are most, I don't know, understood, that are most assumed, that are most like normal get elevated. And a story as complex and as rich and as like genre bending as Sinners, they're like, "Mm, it just didn't." Even watching the preview, it doesn't look right. Like it doesn't even look like all of these movies are just like, oh, cool, a love story.
mhm.
Oh, cool, a story about, I guess it's an actor that was in Hamlet with Shakespeare. Cool. Story about a ping pong guy.
Yeah.
Nice. You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
our
it's
stories have to be like super fantastical vampires, historic
and then
genre.
still not get like, a couple of things, like, I get so frustrated, like, with Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet
Mhm.
is has already been nominated, I think, twice, and he's, like, not even 30 yet. He'll be
Yeah.
nominated 150 times.
Yeah.
Like, when
Right.
people were like, "Oh, Leonardo DiCaprio was nominated for 87 and he only won 1." I was like, "The fact that he's been nominated
Right.
87 times."
And every time he puts a movie out, he's nominated. Right.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you have Michael B. Jordan has to do all of these things to get a nomination,
Right.
and he won't win. I mean, I hope he wins, but he won't win, but he's
Mhm.
not gonna get another chance to make a Sinners or something big enough that the Academy will find worthy enough to give him an Oscar. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
even Denzel Washington hasn't really been nominated that many times.
Yeah.
If you think about it and compare it to like a Jack Nicholson or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I have always thought that, where it's like, you don't have to win because you're gonna get more chances to win. The fact that Jennifer Lawrence won back-to-back Oscars, and what was the other lady who won back-to-back? She did Million Dollar Baby and Boys Don't Cry and got back.
I could see her
I can't even
face.
remember
Yeah.
her name, like, back to like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That is absurd to me, but that's the way it works. And yesterday, I did a class visit for this memoir writing class. I wanna say I can't remember what school it was or what university, but they were asking me about my book, and I was talking about it, and it hit me in the middle of it, and I actually said this. I said, "If I was a white woman,
Mhm.
my book would have catapulted me
Yeah.
into Eat, Pray, Love." Like,
Oh, yeah.
be I would have 8 books, I'd be,
It'd be a
billion-dollar,
series. Yeah.
it'd be series.
HBO Max. Yeah.
People would still be talking about it as,
Mhm.
like, life-changing, revolutionary, but because I'm a Black woman, it kinda just came and went, and even
Yeah.
the things that the Black shit that was nominated with it, it was, and I don't wanna be disparaging 'cause I like these people as human beings, as, like, I like them, so
Mhm.
it's nothing against them, but their books were about the Black experience for white people. And
Mm.
they got a lot of accolades, like, they got a lot of stuff based on that, but I'm writing about a Black person from a Black perspective without thought of whether or not white people are going to relate or if it aligns with what white people already think about black people. Because, you've got the liberal ones who like, "Yeah, white people suck." And
Yeah.
then you got the other ones who wanna be
Mhm.
like here, "Yeah, black people suck. I'm with y'all." Those are the poles that get attention. Anything in between that doesn't really, and it's the same for me when it comes to Black film and Black art in general. So,
Mhm.
yeah, with Sinners, it's like you gotta do the was it twice as hard to get half as much?
Yeah.
It Wumi, is not gonna get nominated again. Like, it's what I'm saying? Like, it's not I don't know,
Mhm.
I find it really frustrating. I
Yeah,
find it
it
real
it really is frustrating to see it so plainly,
Mhm,
right? To whereas I feel like in the past, I'm thinking like when we were younger, like we didn't really, we weren't watching like Oscar worthy movies. I just remember the Oscars feeling so boring, right? Like
mhm,
the Oscars and the Grammys too. They're like, oh, like those are the awards for the adults, the award shows for the adults. But
mhm.
even when you think about just like the films and the music that have been awarded and centered, it's so visibly about the white experience in the United States or in the world, really, the white perspective that I don't know, it's just everything just seems to be really targeted. We've talked about this before, like psychological warfare for black folks and attacking, our politics, our art, our education, our communities, our health. It's just so many of these kind of red flags all over the place. And it's getting exhausting. And I have intentionally, like, I genuinely believe that they're the powers that be, and we can name them, but I don't even know if that's important to name them. The powers that be are at war with us. Like, we are in the target of the powers that be, and that they are trying to attack our moral and cultural fiber
Yeah.
in real ways, like I'm not speaking hyperbolically. I mean actual trying to disarm us, trying to keep us off kilter so that they can control us or so that they can make us do things with the emotions that they're fucking with, right? You know what I'm saying?
When you think about it, like, we've seen all the AI stuff. AI is targeting Black people.
Without a doubt,
It
without a
is
doubt.
either buying into racist tropes or it's
Mhm.
just like it's I don't know whether it's trying to show us that we can be replaced or I don't even know, but, like, when I notice that, it's like y it's it's like you said, it keeps us off kilter. It keeps us
Yeah,
in a state of hypervigilance, and when you're in a state of hypervigilance, you can't do anything else
yeah,
because you're not sure what's going on around you. You can't build, you can't organize, you
yeah, you
can't do
can't create,
can't
you
create because
can't
like, "Is this
yeah.
real?" Like, what's yeah,
Yeah, so everything is like, I find myself saying, "If this is real, then this is crazy." You know what I mean? Like, for
yeah.
everything, for everything. Is this real? Like, the president, went on C-SPAN and with the hidden voice. Did you hear about that? With the an alternate, name and, like, tried to hide his voice?
No, I don't wanna hear that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, is this real? Like, is this him or is this somebody impersonating him to be funny? But everything just seems like, is this a real thing happening right now?
Have you seen the fact that he uses AI generated versions of himself?
Yes.
Like, he fixes his voice, he makes
Yes.
himself, like, skinnier,
Thinner, yeah.
thinner, yeah, like, and it's like you're looking at it, it's like, I know what you look like,
Mm,
and this could be you, like, you coulda lost, like, 80 pounds and all that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't listen to what he's saying because you're too focused on whether or not what you're seeing is real or not,
mhm.
which allows MAGA to be like to have proof of every weird thing that they say because they don't know what's real or what's not either. It's I don't know.
Right. Right, right, right. Man, well, we've had a lot of, interaction on our socials the past month. We're kinda doing an experiment for the audience. We are in the process of you know, putting our stuff out there more, right? And trying to find like what's the right cadence, the right if we're going to do it internally, if we're going to export it and have someone else do it. So we've just been trying some different things. And I mean, we've had some posts, Bossy, that have 1,000 comments, 6, 7,000 likes easily. Right. So much so that I feel like on one of I'm trying to find the comments. I had them up here. Now they went away. But on our TikTok, especially, we posted about Bad Bunny a few weeks ago. And I told the story about going to Puerto Rico and looking for my people and the conversation I had with a colleague. And we talked about the flag and we talked about, and it's just interesting because we had I mean, I feel like there's a strong Puerto Rican population that thinks like either we're Puerto Rican or this is like a Puerto Rican liberation podcast, which is fine, right? Which is cool. And then there was a comment, Bossy, that said, I don't think you two are the right people to be talking about this.
Talking about what?
I was
Just
like,
Puerto Rico?
yeah, just about Puerto Rico. Like, I don't know, but our comments were about like our observations about the Super Bowl. And then my personal story that I told. So it's just really interesting. But one thing that was really clear to me is that Puerto the the idea that so many Puerto Ricans see themselves as African, Taina, and Spanish
Mm,
and make space for all three, it's really something. It's really unique. It's really unique. The Across all of our comments, I mean, and this is, hundreds of comments that people that on their avatar looked white, right? Like their avatar, like this is people were posting like, here's a picture of me and my grandma, and we're African, and they would look like white people. You know what I'm saying? So it was just I thought it was kind of dope that the Puerto Ricans in the comments like found this outlet to share what it sounds like they were like like a lot of them were like holding on to, like, oh man, like you see us, like you really understand. It was just fascinating um to see that dialogue play itself out. And it's people are still leaving comments. This is from 2 weeks ago.
oh, wow.
It's
I don't read
just
comments in general, so I haven't seen them.
you don't read the comments.
No, I learned after my book, I can't be cussing people out.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely some cuss out worthy comments up there where people just be saying stuff, yo.
They just I've been I think
People
about
people
this one
saying stuff.
like, people just be rude. Like, why would you just show up here and say some why? Why? And they're so
Yeah,
comfortable doing that because people don't think other people are real. I'm gonna tell you who's real. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Somebody accused us of I think it was me, really. The conversation that we had last week about Black History Month,
Mhm.
and we were talking about like we were responding to
Yes.
Deontay Kyle's conversation about Black Americans.
Mhm.
Someone accused me of trying to all lives matter Black History Month.
I saw that. Where
You
did
saw
I
that?
was it on YouTube? I
I
did
think it was on TikTok, actually.
I did see that one. I
I
don't know
think it was
how
on
or why
TikTok.
I saw that, but I did see that one. That's also absurd because you weren't doing that.
I too like I'll read the comments and I'll usually never comment back, but I definitely commented back on that one and said like I'm not trying to all lives matter Black History Month. I'm trying to all Black lives matter Black History Month.
Yeah.
And like there's a
It's
very very
different.
big difference, right?
It's different. Because even when I was saying that the Black history should have, like, a connection um, to Black people in America, like, just as a whole, I'm not talking about, like, the white person who invented something that Black people use. You know what I mean? Like, that is not Black history to me. So
Right.
that would be all lies. If I was gonna say, Eli Whitney inventing the cotton gin, but we know that he did not invent no damn cotton gin. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
that to me
Right.
is
Right.
not if that was true, it would not be Black history to me. Not just because of the connection to slavery, but just in general, it's not that.
Yeah. 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 But there's been just some fascinating conversations. People are still talking about J. Cole
Of course.
and
Everybody's got a cult now. It's
huh?
fucking weird. Everybody's got
Yeah,
a cult now. It's fucking
every
weird.
so let's talk about that for a second. So I everybody's that's probably listening now heard Bassey and I's J. Cole album review. I thought of all the conversations that we've had about music for the past year, that conversation was like, I thought it was really good. I
Mhm,
thought it was a really good demonstration of, two people that came to the album with different expectations, two people that had different opinions on J. Cole over time, and two people that came and listened in a very like, I was hyped and then I let mellowed out and then listened to it. You came in, you're like, okay, you listened to it and had some real critique. And I don't feel like any of our critique was like incendiary. I don't think we were like, fuck J. Cole, that nigga white. Like it was just very like, I don't like that he did this, right?
mhm.
And I don't like talking on the phone. And I had three of my homeboys call my phone number to tell me, I hate your take on Cole. Why you bullshitting? Why you da 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 da? Why you got beef with Cole? And I'm like, I don't. I
God.
gave Cole 8 out of 10. Eight,
Yeah.
and I started saying I give Cole 8 out of 10. The things that didn't make it a better album to me were mostly musical. Were mostly like the sound of the music. All the other stuff, I was like, the stuff Bossy was talking about, I agreed with, but it didn't make me rate the album any differently. It didn't make me hear it any differently. But there's cultural commentary here
Mhm.
that needs to be that we can't just be like, oh, give him a pass or because we like him. And then this got me thinking like, when did music, when did everything become so
Tribalism.
team this, the Beehive, the Rihanna Navy, whatever, the Cardi B, like everybody has their people that they like cape for. And if you say anything remotely critical, not even bad, just like critiquing, you're a hater.
Not even critiquing, observing.
Observing, just making an observation.
Seen people get completely flamed at the suggestion that Beyonce's had cosmetic surgery,
Mm,
when it's obvious that she has. And they're like, "No, she looks the exact same." No, she doesn't, and that
right.
is fine because she's 44 years old.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? And
Mhm.
and I've seen a lot of that where people won't even allow an observation if it feels like it's negative towards the person, if they perceive it as negative. I'll even say that. As
Yeah.
if they perceive it as negative, they'll say, even if it's like someone's like, "I'm in the hive," but like, "No, you're not in the hive. You better take your card." What are you talking about? If there's no real card, like, what are you talking?
Yeah, you don't have access to
It happened with pop stars, and so when it started happening, Nicki
what?
Minaj did it. It started with
You think
the
so?
barbs. It started with the barbs. It started with the barbs, and then it bled into other aspects of hip hop. Once you're able to call yourself a thing, like you're the blank, you're the barbs, you're the, I was gonna say the dots. They're not called dots. Ken
Okay.
folks,
Uh-huh.
the OVOs, the like once you were able to do that and make your entire personality this
Mm.
thing that you like, when I saw people going to the Kendrick concert dressed like Kendrick, I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, we've completely lost the plot here."
What? That's funny because that happens, right? Like people go to things dressed like the thing. I don't necessarily. I think it's a little weird, but I definitely said when that Michael Jackson movie comes out, I'm gonna wear my Billie Jean jacket. Like
That's different, though.
I'm gonna
That's
wear it.
different. When people go to Cowboy Carter dressed like cowboys, that makes sense. It does not make sense to go to OVO Fest dressed like Drake.
As a man, like just as another guy,
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to go to a Cole concert dressed like Cole, especially because Cole just be dressing regular.
like
So
anything, right?
so you could dress regular, but you're dressing like another man's regular, and that is weird.
That's so
That
weird,
is
man.
fucking weird to me.
It's
Why
so
you dress like Kendrick's video? Like, what do you what?
like his
Right,
stylist picked that outfit out. Like that's
right.
not he didn't go to his closet and pick out the jeans and jacket, right?
Even I kinda give a pass to people dressing like
Excuse me.
what's it Tyler, because Tyler has so many different like, the looks that he does for every album is part of the album.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
guess you could say that for Kendrick too, but it's different. It's just
Yeah.
different, and I think it's weird. I think it's weird.
I think there's just a lot of you mentioned this before when we were chatting, just like a tribalistic approach to everything right now. And I don't know how I feel about it. Like I want to bash it and be like, "Oh, get out of here!" Like I hate that. It's ruining the way that we digest the culture. But then on some level, it kind of makes me think back to when we were younger. And remember in like the Ride On magazines or even like on album covers, you could be a part of people's fan club.
Mm.
Right? You could actually like write in and they would send you a card to say you were in the Michael Jackson fan club. I think I might have been in the Prince's fan club when I was like 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and there is something that I'm sure the record executives and the label folks are tapping into when it comes to fan loyalty
Mhm.
and like what they can do with people once they know that they're loyal to this person, to this entity, to this musician to a fault. Like it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what kind of music they make. It doesn't matter what their tour does or anything. If people are loyal to an entity, then they have free reign to do whatever they want to do with that group, and they'll know they'll get it. I just see it as going from when it was artists like Prince and Michael and, Whitney Houston, and now it's like there's a tribalistic approach to every aspect of art.
Yeah, and I think I'll walk back saying it's the Barbs, even though I do think that
They elevated it
they
for
elevated it.
sure, for
But
sure.
I think it's social media.
Mhm.
We were not like, we were fans of Mike and Prince and Whitney and George Michael and we were fans, but we didn't know what they were doing. We didn't know what they thought. We couldn't, decide we could attach ourselves
Ourselves, yeah.
to them personally or to their way
Mhm.
of thinking. We didn't know. We didn't know what their politics were. We didn't know anything. We know too much about celebrities now, and because of that, we attach ourselves to thinking we know them and identified with what we think we know.
Mhm.
And then people are now doing retroactively. I've seen Michael Jackson stans who will say things like, "Oh, Michael would have loved," I wish I've seen this. "I wish Michael was on social media because he would have jokes. He would have this, and he would be saying this, and he would." I was like, "No, he wouldn't." Like,
Right.
his whole thing was elusive. He would not be doing TikToks. He would not be talking on like, he wouldn't be doing that. You're
Right.
you're almost,
They're projecting.
they're projecting. They're
Yeah,
projecting.
yes.
And I saw, I think that New Edition is the best band in the history of bands
Mhm. Mhm.
because not only were they big, they influenced NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and New Kids
Yeah.
on the Block who
Boys
were
to Men, yeah.
and then they're the only band where every individual member was able to spin off and have really successful solo careers. And then they come back together and it's all the same original members. That does not happen.
Yeah.
And somebody like said something similar on TikTok and they were like, no, nobody's bigger than Michael Jackson. Okay, yeah. But we're not talking about Michael Jackson. We're talking about, yeah, but Jackson 5 is bigger than any other group because Michael Jackson is bigger than any. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. I think also, peek my shirt, it's literacy. It's a lack of media literacy. It's
Yeah.
a lack of literacy, period, where people don't even finish reading the end of the sentence before they've decided, I know where this is going. And they act off of what they think you're saying or what they already said, what they already think, and they're putting that on you, and, like,
That part.
that's happened, I think, because of the internet, because of social media.
Yeah, I think yes, absolutely agree. A lot of projection going on. I think also what social media has done and what I think the Zuckerbergs and Steve Jobs and all them, all those billionaires that are running media right now that have been running media, I think that they've they've found a way to create full celebrities in all of us, right?
Mhm.
Like that's what
Yeah.
TikTok allows us all to get like the fame treatment without, without for a lot of people any money,
Mhm.
without any status for real, but it elevates our sense of self and importance so that like our opinion matters just as much as the people on Entertainment Tonight or wherever you get your, the Washington Post. Like I had this one experience, and so I'm not going to tell the world about it in a way that looks very journalistic and it looks very, professional because oh look, we're in HD, right? So it's got to be real. So I feel like there's all these like filters, literal and figurative filters on social media that allows everyone to feel that's people talk about like the dopamine hit of feeling better with
Mhm.
social media, but I think it's another level above that. Another dopamine hit or another byproduct of that is we all feel special and
That makes
everybody's point feels valid. Like I can give my point because I'm saying it's my social media. It's mine. So that just creates I don't know, it just creates a really I don't wanna use dangerous because I
sense.
do you think is that the word that I wanna say?
When we have people who are over talking people who have literally spent their entire lives studying something
That's
and encourage it's
dangerous.
absolutely dangerous.
That's
It's
crazy.
dangerous in the mental health field, it's dangerous in the education field, it's
Oh, yo.
dangerous in politics, it's dangerous in science.
Mhm.
It's people thinking that their opinion or the fact that they know something about something, that they are on par with people who actually study it. When they say education is elitist, not everybody has access to A, B, C, and D. Just
Mhm.
because I don't have a degree, does it mean yes, it does.
Yeah, that's actually what it means. Yeah,
Absolutely means that.
yeah,
It
yeah.
means that things mean things, and for people to very and that's another thing. People lack shame and they
Mhm,
lack humility and they lack spatial awareness.
mhm.
So back in the day, back in our day, we knew that when we walked into a room, there's probably somebody who knows something more than we do. And when it comes to the facts, we can't argue the facts. We might argue the result, we might argue what the analysis is, we might
Yeah,
challenge that, but we never approach it from the I know more than you because my opinion says that you're wrong about something that is literally factual. Like
right.
we can talk about like we're going to talk about the BAFTAs,
Mhm, mhm,
right? So you can say because we're going to talk about this, let me go back and talk about what I've said before about Kanye, which
mhm.
is you can say, I don't like the behavior. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he's saying. What you can't say, though, is because of that, therefore, he's not mentally ill. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You
right,
cannot
right, right, right.
because the literal definition of mental illness, specifically the ones that he has, make it so this is what's happening. You cannot decide that science and years of development doesn't exist or doesn't matter because
Right.
of your opinion on something and somebody. And then what people say is that, yes, but science changes all the time. Yes, after research.
After years and years of the experts studying what the fuck happened.
Right.
You
You
know what
can
I'm saying?
sit there and like,
Yeah,
oh, well, they thought this and they changed their mind. They didn't change their mind.
right,
They
right.
upon further
They
research.
got new information. They had to
Exactly.
right, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the BAFTAs. I think there's no more like non sequiturs. Like everything is all one
Everything's
subject.
connected. Yeah.
Everything is one subject. And I
It's a
feel like I don't know
Venn
what the
diagram of
subject
the
is.
circle.
Everything is one thing. So the BAFTA awards, for I'm sure everyone's known it. For folks that are listening to our show, you've probably seen they're the British Oscars, and they were held a few days ago. They were not live, which I just found out. I thought that they were live. They were not live, as
Yeah.
a matter of fact.
Yeah, that was another thing.
So what we saw was Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan from Sinners were up to announce an award, and a man in the audience, I think his name is
John
something Dave
Davidson?
something Davidson, John Davidson, who was at the award for a documentary that he created about having Tourette's.
He was the subject of, I don't think he
He
created
didn't
it.
create, he was in it. He was the subject of it, right? So in the documentary, it's all about Tourette's and how he's dealing with it and all the conditions of it. And now I personally am not an expert on Tourette's at all. I've seen a lot of the same stories that we've all seen. I probably laughed at a couple of things on TikTok like we all have, because like really, like what is going on? What's real? What's not? And I know it's a real condition. Homeboy John Davidson, while the two black men are on stage, has an episode and says nigger loudly, loud as fuck loud. I think he said bitch too, which I
What?
gotta admit, I chuckled a little bit when I heard it. I was like, did he say
He said
like nigger bit, like nigger, bitch? Like he just whatever.
okay, okay, okay.
That's what happened, right? That's the fact of what happened. Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan paused for a minute, didn't even look at each other. I thought how they responded was fucking beautiful. When I say beautiful, I mean, I hate how they had to respond,
Yeah,
but the fact that they didn't like pause, they didn't look at each other like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
what? And didn't, they skipped a beat, literally skipped one beat, took a deep breath, and kept moving. That is what happened. And then there's been a series of follow-ups after. BAFTA somewhat apologized to the audience for allowing that, they said a racial slur or a negative slur was used on a live broadcast. It wasn't live. And they apologized if people took it the wrong way. That was not the intention of John Davidson.
What? Took it the wrong way.
Didn't apologize to Michael B. Jordan or Delroy Lindo, and they said that they, on the pre-airing or the re-airing of the show, that they would edit it out.
Why
Did you
would
hear, Bossy,
out?
that they did have an opportunity to edit out 3 other attendees who came up on the stage and said "Free Palestine"? They edited those,
Yeah, I read that
but they did not edit out the N-word being nigger being screamed out while 2 black men are on stage.
on stage. And I also read that John Davidson apologized for it, but didn't apologize to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy. And
Yeah,
that's when my opinion intensified, I should say.
yeah,
I didn't watch it. I think we've spoken before how
yeah,
I get anxiety when
yeah.
yeah, so I didn't watch it.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
read about it, I know what happened, I'm aware, I'm caught up. I could not watch it. I tried to, and I was like, "Nah." I'm
I will say, I remember when you said that a few weeks back, and I don't think I realized that I do that too. But like, I'll be scrolling something, and if it's like, I don't like watching violence happen on screen. But even if it's something like embarrassing, like someone's trying to do a backflip and they like break their hand, like I don't like watching stuff like that.
yeah,
But this, I did watch it, and I wish I didn't.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not I don't care, him saying the N-word is horrible, he should go to hell, but I just
I don't wanna go
hated
that far.
figurative hell. I just hated, again, I'm projecting how I would have felt if I was on the stage. And every time I've seen it come across my timeline, like it really, really makes me mad. And I've done a really great job in disconnecting because we're at war. I've done a great job disconnecting myself from like being emotionally moved by everything on TV. But that one, like I watch it over and I'm like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
and I really don't know what to do it because I'm angry, and when I'm angry, that's when I tell like John Davidson should go to hell. I don't care about his condition. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I when I first heard of it, again, knowing what Tourette's is, I've known about Tourette since I was little because Oprah and Phil Donahue used to have people with Tourette's on all the time, and I was like,
I remember.
what is this?" And, my mom was a psych major, so I used to read her Psychology Today and
Hmm.
all that stuff, and I was reading about Tourette. So and I think I know somebody who has tics. She doesn't have verbal tics. She
Me
has,
too.
like, little,
Hmm.
like, whatever. And a lot of people have
A
it,
lot of people have it.
like, the people who blink. I think low key, Charlemagne has it because he does this blinking thing that
Mm,
comes out of nowhere, and because I notice dumb shit like that.
yeah. I do think a lot of people do have ticks and like just little things about their bodies. That's relatively normal.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
understand. I mean, okay, I understand that I don't understand a lot of neurology. I understand that I don't know a lot about the inner workings or the research about it and why it happens. I do know that it does happen, and
Yeah.
I understand that it and I've always wondered, well, why are they saying the worst possible things? Like, why are you cussing? Like, why are you calling people bitches? And then, it's like it's a lack of you can't control it. It somehow, and I don't understand how, delves into your medulla oblongata and, like, pulls out the worst,
Into the things you shouldn't be
the
saying.
things that you shouldn't be
Yeah.
saying. So I understand that. I respect that. I think that's terrible as far as, like, how do you live with that? Like, you know, it's a difficult thing to live with. If he would have said it when Timothy Chalamet was on stage, I'd be like, "Damn, that's poor guy. He couldn't control that."
Right.
2 black men were on stage when you did that. So, even though I am empathetic to the fact you couldn't control it, and I'm sure that's mortifying, I have questions about what you be thinking when you see black people. I have like, when people slip up and say the N-word, sometimes it's funny. It's like, you're trying so hard not to say it inappropriately that I'm
Mhm.
wondering how often you're thinking it and why you think it so often. You know what I
Right.
mean? And
Right.
so that's where I was like, the fact that you said it in this specific instance says something about how you feel about black people. You just weren't able to control it the way other people are able to control it.
Mhm.
So, I feel also like BAFTA's response is like, "Yeah, we all be thinking it," but,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
then when I had another place where I have a problem is, why aren't you apologizing to Delroy and Michael, and why aren't you apologizing to black people?
Yeah.
Why aren't you talking about the historical, because to me, it just came off like he was embarrassed. Like, he was
Right.
embarrassed on TV,
Right.
like, it's when you accidentally, like, you
Like he
know
tripped up the steps or something, like it was something
exactly,
like, "Oh, my body,"
exactly.
like he farted or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
If you accidentally call somebody mommy, and it's like, "Oh my god, that is not who that is," or you say ma'am instead of like, these
yeah,
I'm mortified, I'm so embarrassed, I'm so sorry. You would still say sorry to the person you said it to, and for him
right.
not to do that, that's when I got like, "Alright, I don't think you should go to hell, but I think there's more going on here than."
Yeah, I don't care what he thinks about black people. I don't. I don't
And
wanna care. I don't wanna know. I don't wanna think what he must be thinking about black people when he walks by them on the street. So I'm not conflicted, right? I'm not conflicted here. I feel like if I say fuck that guy, I'm not saying fuck everybody with Tourette's.
mhm, yeah,
I'm saying fuck him and fuck how his comments made those 2 black men feel.
mhm,
And not his comments, like, his tick or whatever happened in that moment. And fuck the idea that in those moments, again, projecting,
right, yeah,
we all have been in those awkward moments where it's like, "Are they being racist towards me?
Yeah.
Like, was that racism right here?"
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Did I not get this job because they're on an award show
mhm,
where they're being nominated for awards.
mm.
Them 2 on the stage don't know who said that, but it's like,
Yeah.
can you imagine, like,
And
you're
I
a
know there were some Tourette's nigga in the
right!
audience. Yeah,
Me and you
and
are on stage to get an award, and someone just yells out "nigga" on stage, you're like, "What? Is that a part of the show? Is this a joke? Is this a bit? Is Drewski here?" Like,
mhm,
so, I it what is so infuriating to me is, like, the mental work that I'm having to do. I wasn't even there.
yeah.
I wasn't watching live. I wasn't, I have no relation to Michael and Delroy, but however many steps removed from those 2, it still makes me have secondhand embarrassment for them and me
It's
and
triggering.
you and all of us. It's
It's
just like,
triggering.
it's so triggering.
Yeah.
And I just wish that I wonder what it looks like. I feel like I started this phrase 4 different times. We are at a space right now, right, where I think we are all rebounding from when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high,"
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
I feel like at that time when she said it years ago, we were like, "Yeah, black people, like, we're gonna go high. We're the moral high ground. We're the"
Which okay, go ahead. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think she's come back and kinda shifted some of that language, and even in that moment, it had context, right?
yeah. Mhm,
But I feel like just in general, black folks are assumed to take the high road
mhm,
and assumed, especially in places that are highly manufactured, places that are like coiffed and presented and glossy, like we have to show up and be buttoned up even when we're being mistreated.
mhm.
So what does it look like in that moment if Michael and Delroy was like, "Hey, yo, we don't like," if they responded the way that that word and that moment called for. If they were like, "Hey, yo," Delroy's classy, and he would be
And
like, "Excuse,"
older, so he's probably been through this. Yeah.
right? So, like, what does it look like for them, for us, for anybody on the street to respond when something is obviously triggeringly racist? Do we just blink and move on, or do we like, who fucking said it? Who said it? Now, like, bring him up on the stage by his collar, apologize to everybody.
Right.
That's extreme, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the sentiment.
And this is something that I said to somebody. These people are on an Oscar run. They are auditioning, interviewing for an Oscar. And
Damn,
had
yeah,
they done that, that would have been the end of that run for them. They can kiss that goodbye. The same way that you want to cuss out a
damn.
client, a
You right.
colleague,
Yeah.
and even though you're justified, people will see as Black people will see that as a lack of control, will see that as because white people don't understand how triggering that word is, it's
Mhm,
like, "You called me a slut, and you called me a bitch."
mhm.
Like, that's what they think of it. They don't think about, like, the historical context and the fact that people have died because of that word
Yeah,
and just what it does, that generational trauma, that word is the fact that that word was created in America to hurt Black people, and
right.
people in England are saying it, people in Spain are saying it. I don't know if you heard about the Spanish sorry, the football the soccer.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
It's all this yeah,
It's
perfect,
all
yeah,
connected,
all the
and Black
same.
people are saying, "Well, he shouldn't have celebrated that hard," or "He was disrespectful celebrating his goal." Well, this dude calling him whatever he said, that's okay because, like,
'Cause he
that's
danced on the flag? That's
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, like, I don't know if you remember, Eddie Murphy was up for the Oscar for Dreamgirls, I forget his name, Jimmy something in Dreamgirls.
Mhm. Yes,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
like he was a front runner. He's Hollywood royalty, he's been around for a long time. They can give him, like I think every Oscar they give most Black people is like honorary for like
Yeah.
accumulation of all of
Mhm.
done. A white person can get an Oscar for the one movie, and we just talked about it, for the one
Yeah.
movie. Black
Yeah.
people get it for, like, for all the times they didn't get nominated and all the times that they didn't win. That's what
Mm,
they're doing. That's why Black people Oscars are always so random. Like,
yeah,
not
yeah.
random, but, like, did he really need to get it for Training Day when he's done all of these other
When
amazing
he did Malcolm X, like, right there, it's
right,
right there.
that's when he should have gotten
Right.
the Oscar or the whatever. So, what Delroy and Michael have to consider in a split second is, do we ruin everything that we've worked for? I was talking about Eddie Murphy, I'll get back to. Do we ruin everything that we worked
Mhm,
for this moment, and because people on the internet would want us to, like, react?
mhm.
Or do we do what Black people have been doing for centuries and we just keep going because reacting will hurt us more than, um the hell? What just happened?
Whoa,
What was that?
that was crazy.
What the fuck just happened?
I think that was the reaction that Apple does sometimes from your FaceTime.
What fireworks? Okay.
I don't know what the
Anyway,
fireworks you must have said, like, "Congratulations" or something, I don't
first of all, I don't like that. Like,
know. That was crazy.
stop monitoring my movements.
You
Don't
gave it
like
thumbs
that.
up. It
But
like thumbs I turned mine off though, but okay, go ahead.
okay. So, yeah, that's what they have to consider in a split second. The fact that they both had the same response, the same reaction, and like you said, they didn't look at each other, should be enough to show people this is what happens and this is how we have to react. And you are lucky for all the times that Black people have decided
Mm,
not to buck up and get, because you know what would happen if they would have done that too? The
yeah.
story would be about them attacking a person with Tourette's.
Of course it would. Of
That
course
would
it
be the
would.
story. But going
Of
back to
course.
that thing about Eddie Murphy was a forerunner for or front runner for the Oscars for Dreamgirls,
Mhm.
and between Dreamgirls and I think the nomination, he did Norbit. And they were like, "We can't give the Oscar to a nigga who did Norbit." And he lost it because of that. Can you imagine Leonardo DiCaprio losing an Oscar because he did I can't even think of some, like, he did
Right, 40-year-old version or something like that.
or I was thinking the one with, the modeling one, which I can't remember,
Oh,
with
with Ben
Ben Stiller.
Stiller,
Yeah, Blue Steel, whatever that is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine him losing the Oscar because of that. It wouldn't happen, but it
Yeah.
happens to Black people all the time, and they've been in the industry long enough to know that without even having to. I mean, they probably talked about it. Ryan and them probably went in on, when they were alone, but they can't do that on stage. Black people cannot do that on stage, for better or for worse. Like, it sucks, it's terrible, it's awful, but it is the truth.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I wanna test it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
How do you want
I'm
that
saying in the not necessarily in the literal sense, but not necessarily just figuratively either.
mhm,
I'm wondering, I'm just brainstorming, wondering out loud, like, what does it look like if we change that narrative? Like, what do our interactions how do our interactions change as Black folks if we say the same narrative you just said, we can't do that because we lose opportunities or, it's gonna impact, you know, it's gonna build on an additional impact that we don't necessarily want. I don't know. I feel like everything right now is upside down. Like things that used to work don't work anymore. Things that shouldn't be working are working in so many aspects of life. In politics, like the things that Trump is doing politically should not ever work. They spent our entire childhood in the history of political science telling us that the government moves slowly, you can't make changes overnight, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't and we've seen and are watching every day all those things be not true. I'm just wondering out loud, what does it look like if Black people change the narrative of how we are supposed to be? Like, we have to be humble. We have to be this. We have to be gracious. We have to be, we have to allow others to do whatever, whatever. This is just figuratively speaking, but I'm just really tired. I'm frustrated with watching so many black people play docile. And I know it's not docile. Intellectually, I know what
Yeah.
they're doing is actually stronger to withstand in that moment. But I don't know.
Well,
I
let me
it feels so hopeless, I think. It feels so, like, powerless to watch these 2 strong, amazing black men on stage knowing that in that moment, they are doing Pythagorean's theorem on, like, how to react in this moment. Like, they are, like,
they're doing mental push-ups
you
and
know what I'm like, the work
focus.
that they had to do in that moment
Yeah.
without even looking at each other, it's beautiful. Like, if you think about what they're going through internally, and I know that I don't have that grace. I don't have that filter all the time.
Mhm.
And I wonder what it looks like if a few more of notable people kinda act like Kanye does sometimes, like, on the right side of history, right? Like, on saying the right things.
So, I hear you, but my example is as much as I am one of the few Black people who was absolutely mortified and if I was a terrible thing to do, Will Smith. What
Mhm.
Will Smith did at the Oscars that year,
Yes.
imagine if he did it to the right person. He did it to a Black person. He embarrassed the Academy because he was going to win an award. That's why he's banned for 10 years. That's why he's unable to, like, he's gone. But Will Smith was the darling. They loved Will Smith. Will
Yeah.
Smith was the man. He started, he started, his star power, his movie star power started to, uh, a reduce, which is
Mhm.
not something that happens to white actors of his caliber. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? That doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
it happened to him. He did that. They forgot that he was their favorite Black man for
Mm,
20 years.
mm,
Oh, you're out of here. It's a wrap. Imagine had he done that to a white actor or a white comedian. It would have been much, much worse. So I can like so to me, Will's punishment for doing that at the Oscars, at this public event, in front of people to a Black man, slapping him,
mhm.
Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan responding to something like that, that a white man did, it's a wrap, as
Mm,
far as I'm concerned. I
mm,
think it's a wrap. I think that there's nothing that can be done because we just talked about AI. They can just replace us. They'll just find another Black
mm,
person,
mhm.
another whatever to do this because you're no longer, uh,
Useful. You're just
useful,
you're just what's the word?
reliable,
Yeah,
you whatever, like, I hate the
disposable.
fact that
Yeah,
Black people disposable. I hate the fact that Black people have to play the game, but Black people have to play the game. It
yeah.
sucks, it's terrible, it's gotten better. That's the thing that I need people to also understand, going back to TikTok or comments where they're like, all over the place, but watch me work. Jesse Jackson died last
We
week,
need to talk about Jesse, yeah.
and so many people weren't born when he was doing what he was doing. They decided to judge him based on the last 5 years of his life.
Yeah.
Somebody who I mean, the rumors were that he got Martin killed, but this is somebody who has been in the movement for 60 years,
Yeah.
whose missteps are still so minor to what it is that he's actually done. And
Mhm.
people now, younger people, don't consider that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
these are the things that people have to consider now. These are the things that people need to be able to understand is different because, oh, this is one point. They act like Gen X and everybody before and boomers did nothing
Mhm.
at all because they've always been able to go to the schools. They've always been able to drink from the water fountains. They've always been able to go to whatever swimming pool they want to. They've always been able to do that. So you don't consider all the things that had to happen in order for them to have the freedom to do what it is that they're doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, I don't know if that's clear and connects the way that I was hoping it does, but
No,
these are
it
things that Black people need to consider and think about these days.
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Jesse Jackson, I mean, rest in peace. That was a huge news story. I know he's been sick for a while.
Yeah, he had Parkinson's. I actually
Yeah, they
met him.
said he had, like, some, like, advanced version of Parkinson's they call, like, Superman, something like super bug or something like that,
Yeah.
I heard them talking about.
It's
But
actually
y
sad. I met him at the UN a couple of years ago, and all we
mm,
grew up knowing is what an amazing orator he was, and,
yeah,
"I am
yeah.
somebody,"
Mhm, mhm,
all of that, like, we know that about him, and
yeah,
so to see him in a place where he's unable Bill Clinton too, unable to speak the way that he's known to. It goes back to me with the what I was saying about Bobby Brown, like, what does it feel like to not be able
mm,
to do that thing, you know?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, go ahead.
That you become known for, that you are known for.
Mhm.
Of course, we're the same age. We remember being, 7, 8, 9 years old when he ran for president. I
Yeah,
remember his speech. I remember not knowing anything about what a Democratic National Convention was, and but just remember seeing this man with the little afro that
yeah,
was,
that's
speaking
sad.
like a rapper kinda almost, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I my sister and I were talking, we drove up to York for Olawe's, end of season sports banquet, and we were
Mhm.
talking about, one of our uncles in Chicago was really, really good friends with Jesse Jackson.
Mm,
We actually talked to him the other day, and he was just like, you wouldn't believe because he's helping organize the funeral. He is like, "You
mm.
wouldn't believe all of the dignitaries, royalty,
Wow.
people all over the world who want to be there for him." And that is who he is, and to see people, young people born in 2000s, as I call them, try to
Yeah.
diminish this man and who he is and what he's done for the people because they haven't seen it. And it reminded me, and I told her, I remember when I was in I think the 2nd grade, and we had,
Mhm.
like, a fake presidential election, and it was when he was running for I think it was his 1st term, and I voted for Dukakis or something, and I came home and I told my dad, he was so pissed
Right.
off.
Yeah.
He was so mad that I didn't vote for Jesse Jackson. I'm literally 7. I'm literally 7, but that's the way we used to look at these Black prominent people. This is
Yeah.
we the way that people talk about Obama is wild to me because we're not
Yeah.
supposed to say that in public. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's not the way that we were, but that's how they are now, and they think that it's empowering, and I'm sure it is, but I just don't like doing it in mixed company. We're still old enough to think about mixed company.
For sure.
Not.
And
They're not.
that's the thing, what we were talking about with the illusion that Facebook or that social media, it 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 makes people think that their opinion is fact. And, when these young kids can get a million people to watch their content and agree with it or be like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Like that's powerful. Like
Mhm.
that is powerful. But the passing of Jesse Jackson made me I can't remember what I was listening to, but they were like, they don't make them like Jesse anymore.
They
Like
can't.
politicians, public figures on any level,
Because just really quick, because we won't let them exist if they have any flaw or
negative.
anything that sorry, go ahead.
That space that the Jessies took up, the Jesse Jacksons, the Martin Luther Kings, like the prominent kind of, the new age, the post-civil rights Black figure, the John Lewises, they're all passing away, right? They're all very elderly. Al Sharpton. We know they don't make those anymore. There are not very many Black political figures that hold that kind of weight universally across the Black community. Where does that energy go? I have an answer. If I asked a question, I probably have the answer.
Why?
Like, where does that energy go? Like that energy that was in the community embedded in like, man, like Martin Luther King, even though Martin Luther King passed in the 60s, that of that generation of folks, right? Where does it go? So the young people, I think my mom said she was 11 or 12 when MLK was assassinated,
Mm.
and then she was a young woman when Jesse Jackson was coming up and Al Sharpton. She was in New York. So it was, very close to a lot of the action there. And young people that are younger than us, where does their like that allegiance to something good, to something that's like progressive, who is it for them?
I mean, I'm gonna let you answer, but I think that whoever it is will not be allowed to exist because nobody can focus on the work. They have to judge the life, and I think
Mhm.
that's a large part of the problem, but I wanna hear what you say.
I think
I would
it's
love for it to have been rappers, but you know how I feel about your boy. Go ahead.
no, that's who it is. It's rappers. It's what we call like the culture.
Mhm.
It's
A cloth.
rappers like loose quote unquote rappers. It's hip hop,
It's
right?
supposed to be.
It's supposed to be hip hop. So, tying it into the amount of phone calls that I received, the amount of comments on our post about J. Cole, and the amount of anytime we talk about Kendrick or Drake, and just the vitriol and the energy that's behind people be like, oh, she don't need to talk about anything related to J. Cole because she's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? What does that mean in this day and time? Where the energy that was from a people that was once reserved for Martin Luther King is now on Drake. You know what I'm saying? The energy that was like, man, like look at the amazing work that Jesse Jackson and the John Lewises and the Al Sharptons, and look at this work that they're doing and galvanizing the community. And we're like, but Kendrick, Cole, and Drake dropped a fire album this year. They got beef. So it just, to me, it provides some insight into, I don't want to say that it's wrong necessarily, but I do think that it puts a mirror up to what we're up against, like what we talk about every week, right? Like that nuance that's lacking in so many of these conversations is because what your shirt says, there is a literacy pandemic right now. Like there's a challenge there universally. There's
Niggas can't read,
a cultural
comprehend.
deficiency, right? Like there's a cultural deficiency right now. The rappers, I don't even want to say rappers. But anyway, there's a connection that I just think everything is upside down right now.
There's definitely a connection, and I think that the hip hop culture was supposed to do that, and I'm sorry, I have to blame your boy.
Drake? No. I mean, he can't,
Blame him.
no way.
I
On
do.
him singularly? No way.
Him, what he represents. No, him. Because, and I've said this, I think I've said this before here, Black people have always advanced music. Always. Whenever white people got a hold of it, they were like, "All right, let's invent something new." And then they'd invent something new. We got stuck in this. It used to be it used to be conscious rappers, backpack rappers. It used to be party rappers, like the Kid and Plays, and like they're just there to have fun.
Mhm.
Then there was supposed to be like the obscene Two Live Crew. Like, you know what I mean? These were
Yeah.
distinct groups, and what happened is that they all became the same person, and
Mm,
then they shifted from the conscious and the fun to, like, the obscene and the empty. This is what
mm.
I've seen that happen
The
over
obscene and the empty.
like, all of these people, NBA YoungBoy, all these people were supposed to exist because they've always existed in some capacity. They
Mhm.
weren't supposed to be the only ones. They
Right.
weren't supposed to be
Take up so much
they
airtime.
weren't supposed to take up so much space for so long. Like 15 years is a long time. The only As much as I didn't like how he said it, I didn't like the personification, I did understand and appreciate what Cole did and I Love Her Again or I used to love her more or whatever. I
Mhm,
I
mhm.
I appreciated the sentiment. I did not like the misogynist language. I did not like the she was fucking everybody. I didn't like that. But I understood what he was trying to say, and
Yeah.
I think that he had a valid point, and I think that Common warned us about that with his song.
Mhm.
So I do think that that was what was supposed to happen until people stopped loving rap.
Yeah.
You could be a rapper without liking hip hop
Yep.
or listening
Yep.
to hip hop. That's a lot of also when it started. Like Yachty and Lil Uzi Vert talk about, I never listened to this. I don't know who that
Yeah.
is.
It's become almost a part of the culture for especially older former rappers or people that were really connected in the rap community. Like, I don't listen to rap in my house.
Mhm.
Like, why not? Like, so but yeah, I feel you on that. But go ahead. I didn't mean to
But I think that that was what was supposed to happen. It's a large part, and I was thinking about this week. It's a large part of my disappointment in Cole. It's a large part of the things that I hold on to with Kendrick. Does that make
Mhm,
sense?
mhm, mhm. It does, it does.
Kendrick's halftime show was a big deal because of all the things that it said, all the messages, all of the version of the speeches
Mhm,
that Jesse and Al and Martin and Malcolm, it was a version of that for now, but it
mhm.
also was supposed to be not that specifically, but the big 3, the people that are surrounding that, I feel were supposed to do more than that. And I think that Kendrick was doing that for a little bit, and he's still to an extent doing it, but I think that it started to take a toll, which was all the Mr. Morale stuff happened. Which brings me to Keem. Watching his
Mhm.
documentary, seeing the listening party and the things he had to say, and listening to the album, it hit all the 3 things that I've wanted these guys to
Really? What
specifically Cole.
what did Ke okay, okay. Baby Keem. I listened to his album.
And let me just be cl I didn't like him before. I didn't like his
Okay.
voice, I didn't like his inflection, I was not a fan before.
Okay, so what did you see in the doc? 'Cause I wanna go watch it. I forgot actually.
The doc was about how he grew up, and it was for some reason, and it's amazing. Aunt Connie was had her little camcorder out and was recording everything. So
Mm,
you see Keem is like a 2-year-old. You see him growing up. You see they tell the story of his mom, where they came from, their grandmother, all the things they've been through, why they moved from California to Las Vegas, all the things that happen in Las Vegas that people don't see because people consider Las Vegas to be like casinos and all that, but they don't realize that there are real people who live there and the things that are going what they're going through.
mm,
I thought Keem's mom was dead. Like I thought that she was dead and
mm.
Kendrick took him under his wing because he didn't have any family. His mom is alive and an addict and living in a tent and like wandering
Oh, wow.
the streets and in the documentary, he's just talking about it, like, matter of factly. Like, there's a part in the documentary where he's like, "Yeah, I had this little, this little girlfriend, and I used to go to her house when he was 4. I used to go to her house, and then one day I couldn't go to her house because her father went and killed her mom and" okay, these fireworks kill me, killed his mom and killed 3 of her siblings. And he was just
Whoa.
like and then, like, like, it just went that way, and I was like, "Alright, what is the story here?" And
Wow.
then his listening party, he was talking about why he'd been away for, like, 5 years, and I started going, "Oh, where's Baby King? Where's Baby King?" And, like, Drake and Cole fans like, "Kendrick isn't letting him shine because da da da."
Yeah.
While his grandmother died, and he spent, like, that period of time trying to deal with that. She died in the house that he bought, like, just
Mm,
all the things that his fame was supposed to fix.
mm.
Like, his mom is still out there. He said that he put her in rehab multiple times and she kept leaving, and he's 25 now, so all this is happening between 19
Oh,
and
he's
now.
young. He's super
Right,
young.
right, so all of that is what I went to, and there's a line that he said that really, like, hit me. "This is for all the kids who walk slow on their way home from school." And
Ooh.
that
Mm,
says so much, And so listening to the album, you hear all of that. You
Mm.
hear not only what he's going through, but how he's trying to push through it. You hear him, like, trying to get into the party and bullshit shit, and then even that doesn't last very long because, he goes into, like, was it I'm not a lyricist, and my favorite one was the last track, which was Blame or something. I Don't Blame You. I don't remember what it was called. So
Mm.
that's why and I heard you when you said Diet Kendrick, but, A, I like Kendrick, so Diet Z Coke free,
Right.
Pepsi Zero, like, I like Kendrick, so I'll listen to that, but
Mhm.
beyond that, what he had to say, the introspection, the reflection, the fact that this is a young kid who is doing this work at 25.
Legit? Okay. I'll listen to it again with that in mind.
Watch the listening party.
Yeah, when he first came out years ago, I didn't like his rollout. Like, his rollout felt like he was a kid. So
He was.
right. I don't think I knew he was as young as he was. I knew he was like Kendrick's little cousin, and they kind of like rolled him out like he was somebody's little cousin. Like, come on, you can do it. Come
Yeah.
on, buddy, you got this. And he
Mama
had
said,
this
"You have
like,
to bring me with you."
yeah, he had this huge platform. Did he perform at the Grammys or something? Like,
He won a Grammy for Family Ties.
yeah, so I was like, oh, all right. And then again, my bias, it's hard for me uh to actively su- support someone with baby in their name, like Baby Keem. It's a thing for me. Like, he's like, this is a kid. Like, he's like, like NBA young boy. Like, right? Like that. No, that's music's for kids. So I just didn't. I kind of listened to it. Like, I turned it on. Like, oh, this is gonna be like some NBA young boy shit or Lil Uzi Vert or whatever. And so when I listened, I was like, oh, like, this is good though. He's a rapper. Like, he's a rapper. Like, he could rap.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
raps relatively well, and like he was doing things with his voice that I was like, okay, got some energy to it. Beat selection, okay, like everything was like, okay, this sounds good.
Yeah.
But it's just like my bias. Like, I felt when my bias would kick in. I'm like, oh, he sounds like Kendrick right here. He's like actively trying to, or actively like they're symbiotic on some level, right? Like they share this experience, and um
I mean, a lot for a long time, and I'm not sure it's completely inaccurate. I thought that, Kendrick wrote for him, like, he was the version of Kendrick that could just be a goofball. Um,
yeah, yeah,
every every verse that he had or every feature that he had with King was, like, really just silly and a bunch of punchlines and jokes. And I was like, "Oh, this is where Kendrick can be, kinda goofy and silly and not, like, rapidy rapper. He's just saying shit he thinks is funny."
yeah,
And I think that's still true. I think that's still true, but I didn't like his inflection. I didn't like the I didn't like
yeah, 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 yeah.
that.
That
But
squeaky voiced
yeah, I
kinda,
just
yeah.
I just didn't he didn't earn that. I didn't feel like he'd earned permission as far as, like, an artist. Like,
Right.
and, like, Rayvon's album, this is old, Rayvon gave us a Mr. Morale first. And I was like, "Nigga, you gotta give us some Good Kid, Mad City. You just got
Right.
here. We don't know you, and now your mom's an alcoholic. Like, let's
Right.
get
Right.
there." So I didn't think he earned that because he hadn't established it, but I understand it a little bit better now, and I was really, really impressed with the album. It gave me Chromacopia the same way I was really, really impressed with Chromacopia. Like people talking about the shit that they go through or paint us a picture of their world, like, in a
Mhm.
way that makes me understand who they are and what it is that they represent. And so, like, the whole casino theme, like, all of that, it just made sense, and I was really, really impressed with it. I walked away like, I got emotional, I was crying. I I
Really?
I was just very, very impressed, and I liked it a lot, and it's also why I like Let God Sort 'Em Out. Like, that's the kinda shit that I like, and that's the kinda shit that as I get older and hip hop grows and I grow with it, that's what I want, and he
Yeah.
gave that, and I was just also really impressed that at 25, he was doing this.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
25.
I could definitely see that, 'cause that's for kind of the reason why I didn't allow it to why it didn't take with me. I was like, "He's young, like, he's not gonna be really saying anything
I
that's
wasn't gonna
gonna."
listen to it.
Yeah, I was like, "Nah," but I did like it. I did like it, but it didn't stick with me because I didn't have a lot of that backstory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch it and listen to it again. I'm still listening to the J. Cole album. The J. Cole album is getting I'm not saying it's getting better, but it makes more sense to me for
Mm,
sure
mm.
as I listen to it more. Some of the beat choices that he made make more sense to me. Ooh, and my cousin, you know how in your critique, my cousin is one of the people that call me like, "Yo, you got beef with Cole?" I'm like, "What?" He was saying that in response to one of your critiques about one of the songs. I think you were saying like, "Okay, you tell us this, and now what?
The
Like,
gas station one.
what now?" Right? He gave a really dope perspective. I gotta give a shout out. Aaron is my cousin. Aaron. He and Cole are around the same age. He's from Tidewater area, Virginia. Like I would say like where he's from is kind of similar in makeup to
Right.
Fayetteville, right? A lot of military bases, a lot of black folks, very diverse or whatever. And he said there were so many songs that he related to so personally. Like it was like the exact same shit. He was like, yo, he has a friend that's gay. He has a friend that's in jail for doing all the shit, right? He said that there doesn't need to be a what if. There doesn't need to be like what happens next. Like the fact that he's sharing the story the way that he is it. That's it. And
Mm.
like as a country, this was him saying, like, he's like, yeah, as a country nigga, like that's kind of has one foot in the hood and one foot out. And your boys are calling you. He moved away. My cousin also moved away to Maryland and goes back home and feels a little weird. And that's the it, right? And then when he said it, it was like there's so many people who have similar experiences to what Cole is sharing that it doesn't have to be a conclusion to that specific story. It just made it make a little bit more sense to me. Like, damn, like it was just a profound way that how he shared it. It was like there doesn't need to be a what happens next.
I hear that and I
Yeah.
respect it, but for me, calling it my last album, my greatest magnum opus,
Yeah.
this is it. I felt like as a new listener,
Yeah.
I wanted to understand him, and I didn't. Then I didn't understand him any better, than I did previously, and I think that for people who are already fans, I thought maybe he's already said this, maybe he's already explained himself, and I don't know how accurate that is, but, like, I just wanted to hear the rest of the story. I wanted to know like, I get it, like, you go home for the first time, there wasn't enough of, like, how weird it feels, what that means when they leave, like, is there
Mhm.
survivor's guilt? Like, it just I don't know. I just needed more, especially at his big age,
Yeah.
our big age. I just thought that I would have liked for him to be a lot more self-reflective instead of out. I would have loved that. And I mean, I think I messaged you. I was like, if Cole would have did what King did, not the same story, not whatever, but just like help me understand, help your fans understand. This is your last album. Help us understand who you are, why you're doing any of this. And then for him to be like, just it's just the death of the I don't know what he said. Like I was like, okay, now you're really making it difficult for me to to
I think he tried to pull a black. I think when Jay-Z was doing the Black album, I really felt like he thought he was retiring.
Mhm.
And when you could hear it in the album, like it sounds final. Like all of his beat selection sounded like grandiose. And I know for me, that's what I was expecting from the fall off.
Mm.
I wanted there to be a December 4th and how he started that song with the string. Like I wanted that regal feeling.
Show me why you're the greatest of all time.
I just wanted it to sound like I wanted it to sound like a nigga walking into a room with a fur coat on. And I know it's not Cole. I
Mhm.
know that's not Cole. He wears cut up jeans shorts to his
Talk
knees.
about talk about your new Chucks.
But I wanted it to sound like him sitting on a throne looking down at people like, fuck everybody, I'm up here. And it didn't sound like that because that's not him. So it's like,
But the
I had to
version
stop
again.
projecting what I wanted from Cole onto Cole and sat back more and be like, okay, this is what he wanted to give us. Not what I would have given, not what I would be giving on my final album. I would have had a unicorn with a Pegasus flying into Fayetteville, and that's what my music would have sounded like. But that's not necessarily Cole. But there have been times. Am I frozen? Oh, there have been times where my boy Dwayne was like, "Oh, that's not Cole. Like he's not flamboyant like that." I was like, "That's bullshit," because he is. He has he has at least 4 or 5 songs on all of his albums that have that kind of like pop shit type of vibe to it. So he has it in him.
I
He
wanted
just didn't
his
want it to.
version, whatever his version of that is what I wanted. What's the song where Jay-Z says, "I dropped the Black album, then I backed out as the greatest nigga alive
Rapper alive,
or the
ask
greatest
about me. Yeah.
basketball." I wanted, like, if you
Yeah.
come back, I want you to be like, "Remember that shit that I dropped?
Yeah.
I proved to you that I was the best nigga out here,
Right.
and now I'm
Yeah.
moving on." And I just didn't get that. I didn't get what
Yeah.
song is that? I
And I bet,
wasn't
as a
Oh, Batman Problems came out after that? After what? Oh, wow. See, that's even that even
was
intent
99 Problems on the Black Album. Yeah, it was on the Black Album, right?
it was on the Black Album?
I think so.
So why was he talking about drop okay, doesn't matter.
I dropped that Black
I'm being
Album,
facetious.
then I bet.
This
Yeah,
nigga
yeah.
ask about me.
Oh, man, another great episode, Bossy. We didn't get to talk about T.I. 50.
Oh, well, let's talk about next week because I didn't get a chance to, like
Okay.
I don't know anything about it. I wanna catch up and listen to the song. There's probably gonna be more.
Oh, yeah, some I'm not even gonna put out what I think is gonna happen, but hopefully
Hopefully nothing.
hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's just fun and games. Hopefully just fun and games. Alright, y'all. Well, let me pull up my goodbye script. Thank you for listening. Keep finding the truth in the chaos, the clarity in the culture, and the joy in the journey, and we'll holla at you next week.
You know what I should have said in the beginning when you were
Well,
like, "I'm Mike"? I should said, "I'm Baby King." Damn it. Damn it. Alright, bye, guys.
that's funny. Every week you're gonna do. Oh wait, are we still recording? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Why won't it? Every week